Luckily, we're not like in the middle of
anything
that's like super story heavy for him. So
Yeah.
I feel like much like Endr, Azure's is kind of like just woven in slowly.
Yeah. I feel that.
There we go.
Hi, Angry Continents.
Everybody's favorite. They move very slowly. They're continents.
Yeah.
Whenever he does the whole thing, they call it Angry Continents.
Consonants is the word you're looking for.
It's a tongue twister for me, and I have a wire on the back of my teeth that causes me to have a lisp, so I avoid saying it. So
okay.
So, last week, you guys met with the Council of the Crown, who run the Titan city of Rodavine, which is on the back of a Titan. You convinced the leaders of the local Dragonborn faction to surrender themselves in order to secure the freedom of the other Dragonborn. One of those Dragonborn turned out to be a mimic who was working for an enemy of yours named Melkadron, who is an Oni. I can't decide if it's Melkadron or Melkadron. I think Melkadron sounds more fantasy. Melkadron sounds like a...
Melkadron just makes me think of Melchior from Teen Titans.
Oh, see, my brain just went like the more literal, like it makes me just think of milking something.
Right, I was like some sort of robot that's milking, and that's just a weird word, and I don't like this. I don't like where this is going.
I'm gonna add an apostrophe here and like a long bar over here. Melkadron, perfect.
There we go.
Right, exactly how I feel.
Sure, why not?
And
glad we're on the same page.
Also, I made cake yesterday, and I just made a cake because I could.
Like trying to
I'm sorry.
D&D and then suddenly cake.
I'm so sorry.
So you and Kyr'nes, you made long distance contact with your mother, who I think is my new favorite character.
Same.
Because she's super fun.
Radz, you really do well with a Radzion. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan, but also I'm right there. I'm right there with Matt.
It's like, no, there's more!
Places we're not visiting.
The Dragon Cave.
Yeah, and basically you were set up to go down with the council and port. Shit! I didn't write her name. I need to write her name down. What's your mom's name?
Radzion.
Radzion. Just Radzion?
Oh, the white
Iradzion.
Iradzion. There we go.
Feroce is the bronze dragon.
Adopted mama.
Yeah. It's going in. It's going into the notes now. Now that we've had to frantically look it up in the Discord chat like 5 times.
Yep. Feroce. Okay, there we go.
Dragon names are hard.
Dragon names are hard. So you're going to transport Iradzion to Feroce's lair, basically, in the hopes that she can control the anger of this white dragon, and that the bronze dragonborn will be able to assist this sort of dwindling tribe of white dragonborn. And that's kind of where we left off. Do you guys have any preparations that you need to make as the council is sending various servants to gather them their supplies?
I'm good.
I don't think Kyr'nes has anything.
Yeah, we we prepared spells. I still have the potions should we need them, because it hasn't been 24 hours.
I'm reading.
I don't think
You're
any.
always reading.
Other than like the obvious,
Yeah.
like, oh gosh, I have so many
But
stories to tell mom.
now- But now it's an important book.
It is an important book. I'd say maybe, Zogle, you could take like an hour. For your mastery for this battle axe, I'm gonna say that you need to put in like 100 hours before you can use it, like without a disadvantage kind of situation. Okay. So go ahead and mark that you've got like an hour on it.
Hooray!
Yeah, and that kind of that consists of like, reading some notes and then like trying to put some of these notes into practice, right? So you start to get a feel for the weapon.
So as far as game mechanics are concerned, would I add proficiency but be at disadvantage?
You would not add proficiency because you're not proficient with it.
Oh.
Yeah. And actually, you probably wouldn't be at disadvantage. You just don't have the proficiency. Before you can effectively use this weapon,
Put in 100 hours. Gotcha.
put in 100 hours. Yeah.
99 hours now.
Indeed.
99. You got 99 problems, but an hour. That hour ain't one.
Sweet. I'm glad that this is where we're going in life, guys. Like, we've come so far.
Yes. Yeah. So this hour goes by. You guys are all prepped to go. And Victus gathers everyone sort of in the center of the room, and he says, "Now, make no mistake, this dragon is dangerous, and we will have to get very close and personal in order to do what we must do. She will likely resist us. I'm going to need the... What?
I'm not sure how effective it's going to be, but I can attempt to curry favor. She is my mother, after all."
Indeed. Well, the ritual spell that we'll be using requires four fairly proficient spellcasters. The three of us, and perhaps your wizard friend, would be willing to assist. And
Endr has she's like, wait, what?
Who, me?
and Oriana kind of taps you on the shoulder and says,
isn't she still stone?
Vaguely.
She's chill. She's chill. She says, you can do it if you want, but
Chill out, Oriana.
Just
It's
gonna
too
look up
good.
from the book and be like, wow. You thought she's talking about you.
And Victus says, I'm sure that you could probably accomplish it.
I'm confused. If you want her to do it, I was just I was caught off guard.
It's like, hello, I'm Wizard.
I heard wizard and I looked up. I'm sorry.
Oriana says, I've cast a few rituals in my day. You go ahead. It'll be fun.
You go ahead, huh?
Oriana, I think we need practiced hands. You know what? I'm just gonna let y'all figure it out. Nope. Just look back down on my...
Victus,
I turned to Victus. You choose. Just choose one of us. It doesn't matter.
he says, well, and he pulls out a scroll, and opens it up, and you kind of catch a glimpse of an Elder Scrolls-esque big old glyph wheel kind of situation. He says, I suppose if I just, and while he's holding it up, his two sort of like mirror images
Doubles.
come and they start like making edits and like setting notes for you on the scroll, kind of thing. And he says, I believe that if you try, you'll be able to succeed with this. And he rolls up the scroll and hands it to you.
Cool. All right. Yes.
He says you'll be going forth. And he looks at the rest of you. Now he kind of groups Oriana with you, and he says, you will be in charge of keeping the dragon's attention while we remove it from the rocks. This is the dangerous part. If I thought that you could all accomplish the level of spellcasting required, I would allow you to take our place. However, this is a difficult ritual, so we'd prefer to do it ourselves.
It may be for the best that I'm interacting with my mother anyway.
I'll accept your shade.
I formally accept your shade.
He says,
and I will not kill you.
He says, if you are able to calm Irazian, then that should be sufficient. However, if you are unable and she becomes restless, you may have to give her a reason to pay attention to you. He says, everyone prepared. We'll be porting in directly into the D chamber.
I'm as ready as I'm ever going to get.
Kyr'nes, do you have resistance to cold, or are you gonna die?
That's a good... Do Dragonborn get an inbuilt resistance to cold? I don't remember.
I don't know. Do you?
Let's see what Google has to say about it. Google. Dragonborn elemental... Dragonborn element resist. Dragonborn 5e element.
I feel like you get the
resist.
breath weapon, but you don't get the resist.
I know as a dragon blood sorcerer at 6th level I can spend a sorcery point to do the thing.
Oh, really? That seems weird.
Yeah, like, just because that's part of my sorcerer's origin. At 6th level, I can say, if I cast a spell that deals cold damage, I get to add my charisma modifier on top of it, and I can spend 1 sorcery point to gain resistance to cold. But, do Dragonborn... It says that Dragonborn gain resistance to the element of their ancestry, so I do gain resistance to cold.
Okay.
Sweet! I'm a drink my own potion of, cold resist, since I got slapped around for it by a plant.
Oh yeah, you got Seymour, didn't you?
Feed me, Zogle.
Does it have to be human?
Or bear, or alligator, or...
Anything.
Does it have to be mine?
Okay, cool. So yeah,
I think
you have the
Endr
resistance.
helped remove Zogle from the Seymour.
Nice. Cool. So you're all gathered around in a circle. And he I think Borellian probably says something to the effect of well, hold on to your butts. And one of Victus's like kind of mirror images raises his hands, and sort of a field rises around all of you, and like arcane glyphs appear in the center, and there's a flash, and you are suddenly perched on the like crescent kind of ramp that leads down to where Iradzian is trapped. It definitely makes like a lot of noise, so she notices immediately, and kind of her head like snakes up to look at you.
As her head rises to look at us, I step forward, very like trying to almost be not necessarily aggressive, but charismatic. And I start shouting in Draconic, "Mother, please, I know this is going to infuriate you, but I swear we have the best of intentions. Please, please, please attempt to allow us to undertake what we're trying to do. This is for the best."
Make a persuasion roll.
Ooh, I get advantage on persuasion rolls against dragons. So 2d20 plus. What's my charisma
While
mod?
he does a chit chat like that, I'm a hold a spell just in case things go south.
Okay, what are you holding?
A third level?
2d20
Or do I have to
plus
say
2.
the actual spell?
I mean, you have to tell me what it is. Like, I have to know
I
what
mean,
you're
it doesn't
holding.
matter. I'll prepare wall.
Wall of water?
Yeah.
That is a 21.
21?
Mm-hmm. The dice are on my side.
She doesn't immediately like bite into you. She
That's always good.
Yeah, she meets your gaze for a moment, and then she looks around, kind of like snakes her head around and like looks at all of them, and she says,
Creepy.
"Yeah." She says, "Who are you, and why have you brought him here?" And she says this looking directly at Victus. And it's at this point that you notice that one of Victus's clones is also holding a spell, and he's got like a charged ball of fire.
You are making my job much more difficult, Victus.
And he has he seemed very calm going into this, but now like standing in front of his old nemesis, Victus has murder in his eyes.
I turn to Victus and say, "Remember our deal." And then I turn back to my mother and say, "As I said, mother dear, I know this looks bad, but I assure you we have the best of intentions. We're getting you out of this mess."
How?
Well, that's why he's here. We need a lot of magic to move you to a better place than under this pile of rocks by far. I'm sure you have at least heard of Farosh, and, well, that's where we're headed. More or less.
To take me to Farosh. Who are you?
I am your lost son, Kyr'nes. Farosh took me in and raised me, and now I'm here to help you.
We'll see how well that one goes.
She like cranes her neck back so that she can get like more of an imposing kind of like up, like kind of like a snake ready to strike.
As he sees her like examining him like that, he takes down his hood and looks straight up at her, as Azure would put it, right in the eyes.
Okay. I look up at her, right in her eyes, and I say, "Oh my god, I love elves."
Where is he? We need our bard.
I know,
I
good
know.
stuff.
Yeah. And she says, "You are Kyr'nes. Where have you been?"
As I said, there was an unfortunate incident, as far as I'm aware, with some hobgoblins, and one of Ferocious brood found me and took me in. I would have died out in the wild on my own, I'm sure, at that age. And as I said, I was sent by her to check in on you all, and it's looking like, if I may, it's looking like you needed the help, and I'm here to provide it.
Okay, go ahead and make another persuasion check.
Okay, 2d20 plus 2. That's an 11.
An 11.
I was gonna say, how are your new program dice going?
I didn't build them after I layered in all the cool stuff from stream. Anyway.
Nice.
You have advantage, don't you? Persuasion with dragons.
Yes, and I rolled a 5 and an 8. So 8 plus 2.
She like tilts her head and kind of like bares her fangs, and she says, "How do I know you're who you say you are? Why would you take me to Feroche?"
You're a being of great wisdom. I'm sure you see that I speak the truth. If there's something you need me to do, I'll do it for you. But trust me, I'm your son. I stand...
Get me out. Ooh.
I stand before you in an attempt to aid our family.
You can get me out from here.
That's why we're taking you to Feroche, to get you out of here.
Very well. She kind of lowers her head a little bit. Asaphia steps forward, Kyr'nes, and she says in your ear, "This spell might be alarming. It will be up to you to keep her calm."
I'll do my best.
So Borellian leads you all down the ramp on one side, and like this is a massive dragon. This is Erazian is bigger than your mother, or bigger than Feroche.
Feroche.
And Feroche is already a pretty big dragon.
Yeah. There's sort of a half circle directly in front of her, and the ramps kind of run up the wall next to that. And at the back of that circle is where the spellcaster's set up.
I have a clarifying question.
Yeah, what's up?
For in a moment. Am I gonna have to make a spellcasting roll or like some roll?
You are.
Okay. Am I gonna be rolling with my wizard modifier or my cleric modifier?
I think they're both wisdom, aren't they?
No, wizard is intelligence. Cleric is wisdom.
That is going to be your choice.
Okay.
This is going to be like the spell has been modified so that it can be cast like through any of like the 3 different kind of magical focuses, which is why a druid and a cleric can assist with it.
Okay.
It'll just have like a slightly different. So it's up to you, whatever you feel most powerful with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do my intelligence because my intelligence is 4, my wisdom plus 2.
Be real smart.
In in a clear and commanding voice, Acephia says, "We're going to begin. Please try not to move too much. Try to remain calm." And there's kind of like two jets of frost come from Radzian's nostrils. Acephia casts, opens her scroll, and begins to murmur the spell under her breath. Let me see here how she. Cool, perfect. She kind of like out in front, like in the middle distance between Irazian and Acephia, this bright light appears and forms into a disc. And from the disc, it looks as if like a large object is being pushed through like a wall kind of thing. And this object forms itself into a talon. And it stays for a moment. And when she finishes the incantation, it launches itself forward and penetrates the rock. Right about where one of Irazian's front legs would be. The rocks shift and there's like a loud noise, and Irazian spooks a little bit. She kind of rears back, and you see this sort of like feral rage start to build inside of her.
I don't know if I've moved. I don't know if I would move to stand in front of her or not. But if I'm not in front of her, I move to stand in front of her, and I look up at her and say, "Please, embodiment of the winter's power, remain calm. This is going to help. I assure you."
This is pretty good. I totally forgot to have you guys roll initiative for this.
Oh.
Also, I should clarify, whenever Kyr'nes is talking to Radzian, obviously Draconic.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's not going to deign to speak common to something that powerful.
Yeah.
Let's see, initiative.
Okay,
I got in a ribbon.
I got a 14.
And what did you get, Kyr'nes?
I got a 14.
14, okay, double 14s. It's Kyr'nes and Endr, and then that is Zogle. And then this is going to be the crown. Oh, and actually, this worked out. Endr, your turn is going to be at the same time as the council.
Yeah, okay.
So you go first.
Okay. Is it
yeah,
time
which
for me to...
you can do something if you want to. He did specifically tell you that you were going to cast your spell fourth.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until it's time for me to do it.
Cool.
I don't think there's really much else I can do. I don't speak Chronic. I don't dare talk to Kyr'nes' mom. Or
Yeah.
like, look at her in the face if I don't have to.
Yeah. Kyr'nes, if you could go ahead and make a persuasion roll for me.
Okay, that's at Radzian, yes.
Yes.
Okay. That is a 21.
21.
Hot on the 19s tonight.
She, like, her breathing is definitely heavier, but she's, for now, seems to be pacified.
That's good.
Zogle,
Yeah.
do you have... What's up?
So yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Zogle, do you have any action you want to take?
Let me double check this real quick.
Sure.
While we wait,
Mhm.
I have something to plug. I've been producing
Plug it.
episodes of Frozen Tundra Finds for the past couple weeks. We're in the middle of Season 3. And this coming week's episode, which I need to upload after this, is going to be real good, I think. It's another trading card game. I don't know.
Oh, you did.
I did.
I think I know.
I did Pokemon last
week. I'm gonna get behind Kyr'nes and be like, don't screw it up. And I will cast Enhance Ability and give him Eagle Splendor, so all of his Charisma checks are at advantage.
Nice.
So now I have double advantage?
I don't know if there's a better way. It's just it.
I'll give you like a +5.
Okay.
Like in addition to your advantage, kind of thing.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm down with that. That's good.
Yeah. Like, and I don't have to, but I like it, so it's there.
You like it.
I like it. Cool. So as you do that, Zogle, you all start to hear like the sounds of shifting rock, and you see the claw kind of pulling back out of the rock slowly, and there is like a crushed dragon claw that's being pulled with it. Not crushed by the claw, like the claw is like right there, but like the hand is like it's fucked up, like it's bad. And there's a smell too, like it smells awful. This dragon hasn't been washed in a long time, so it's pungent. Next up is the crown. And I have the wrong page.
Oh dear.
Victus steps forward, or rather, one of Victus's clones steps forward. You guys haven't seen Victus cast a spell really, but like you've seen his clones do it, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah. He unfurls a scroll, and sort of like rapid fire. Whereas God, I can't remember her name ever. Whereas Asephia was like very careful. He confidently and loudly says his spell. A sort of like a gate appears next to the disc of light that the claw came out of, and from it like this magical tendril shoots forward and grabs onto something kind of behind where the first one grabbed onto. And he's definitely not gentle about it, and Iradzian starts to get a little bit more irritable.
Yikes.
Kyr'nes, go ahead.
Okay. I know. It's rough, but it'll be worth it in the end. You'll have escaped from here. It certainly seems like a dreadful prison. I'm well aware. But I assure you, everything will work much more smoothly when you've reached Feroche.
Okay. Go ahead and make a persuasion roll with your +5 at advantage situation.
I've rolled a 7 plus 5 is 12.
Okay. In her more irritable state, Iradzian looks at you, and there's like a twinge of anger. And she says, "You've tricked me.
I did no such thing."
Do you want to make any other actions on this turn?
Let me double check my spells before I decide I'm gonna do a thing.
Sure.
If I have the thing I think I have, I want to do a thing. But if I don't, I won't. I'm going to ready blink and if she moves to attack, I'm going to cast it.
Okay. Sure. Next is Zogle. Do you want to do anything?
I'll prepare again to cast Water Wall, but I'm not going to do anything just so I don't try to hold concentration on 2 spells.
Yep.
So I'm just going to be like, if this lady goes psycho, then I'm a make sure we're safe, and then I'm going full psycho back.
Cool. On Iradzian's turn, she says, "I've been deceived. I will destroy you."
You're welcome to
and
try.
Her head lurches forward. Now I'm not sure if I should let you cast Blink first or if I should make her attack roll first. I guess since you were already holding it,
Yeah,
I guess.
I was holding Blink, so.
Yeah, you can go ahead and cast
Okay,
that.
let me double check how Blink works. I know I have to roll to do a thing, but I don't remember exactly what it is. Blink. Roll a d20 at the end of each of your turns for the duration of the spell. On a roll of 11 or higher, you vanish from the current plane and appear in the ethereal plane. So, would I, since I've readied this and it's past the end of my turn, would I roll?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Sure.
I guess when you cast it, you roll. I don't.
I don't either.
Words.
Let's sit.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and make a roll.
Is it 1d20 plus my mod, or is it just 1d20?
Excuse me.
I'm not sure. I think it just says 1d20, so I'm just gonna roll 1d20 without my mod.
Okay, let me read it real fast, just so I can get an idea what's going on here, because I need to refresh anyway. Okay.
It's a good spell if you can get it to go off.
Link 5e. Let's see here. Well, it's a long one. Roll a d20 at the end of each turn for the duration of the spell. Yeah, it's without any modifiers. It's just roll the d20.
Okay, everybody cross your fingers. That's a 7. I have burned a 3rd level spell, and it does nothing.
Okay, well, I mean, it does nothing this turn, right?
Yes,
I think it
and then
keeps-
like each end of my turn for the next minute, I roll a 1d20, and I might go to the ethereal plane.
Beautiful. Yeah, so you cast a spell on yourself, and you're trying so hard, but this imposing dragon kind of like breaks your concentration a little bit. It takes a bite attack at you. Ooh, she didn't roll very well though. Oh my god. Wow. Let's see. Does a 19 hit?
Oh, a 19 very hits.
Okay.
Sorcerers don't do the armor.
Yeah, that's why I took Dragon, because you get a 13 AC without any armor.
Yep. You take 15 points of damage. 10 is piercing, and 5 is cold.
So I take, if it's 15 total, then 10, because I have, oh wait, it'd be 12, because it's halved, because of my resistance.
Yeah, you take, like, what, 2 points of the cold? Are we
Yeah.
rounding down or round?
Round down.
So that's 12, so I'm at, that. Okay.
Cool. Okay. So Borellian steps up now and pulls out his scroll, and he says, "Get ready, little lady," and and he reads his spell, and from the ground, there's like an eruption, and roots fly forward and grab onto one of Iradzian's back legs, like through the rock, obviously. And she gets pulled forward a little bit. 3 of her legs are in view. You can also start to see like her body. She's like ribs, and there's scratches everywhere. There's like kind of there's a bunch of wounds that like never healed because of her position. She's just been like very, very sickly for a long time. There's also new fresh wounds from the rocks. She's in a lot of pain.
No wonder she's so angry. I'd
Yeah.
be angry too.
Yeah. Kyr'nes. She as the roots grab onto her, she lets out a howl that shakes the cavern. It is now your turn.
I shout to my mother. I know what this looks like and I know what this feels like, but I assure you I have the best of intentions for you, mother, please.
Okay, go ahead and make a persuasion check. Advantage +5.
That's a 20 unnatural.
Cool. She like with her head kind of down near your position, like she's staring straight at you, and very like quietly she says, "If this is some sort of trap, I will destroy you and Faroche."
You're welcome to try. It won't be hard with me, but... well, as I said, you're welcome to try.
That
Zogle.
almost sounds
Oh,
like a
end of my
threat.
turn,
Yes.
I roll
Yes.
for Blink.
Yes.
Let's see what happens when I roll for Blink. I rolled a 9. It does not do anything.
It doesn't do the thing. Okay.
Probably for the best. That would not have reflected well had I just...
Yeah, fair. Also, you can still like take other actions on your turn. Like I'm kind of giving you this talk as like a free action,
Yeah.
sort of.
I don't really have
So if
anything
there's
to
anything
do.
else you
I don't really have anything to do with my
Oh.
bonus action other than Misty Step, and I don't want to cast Misty Step right now.
is Blink a concentration spell?
Is Blink a concentration spell? Question of
So
the
I
day.
need you to make a concentration check.
Ooh. Let's see if Blink is Blink a concentration spell? Question of the day.
I've still got it open. It is not.
Okay.
Zogle.
I'm gonna like pat Kyr'nes on the shoulder for tactical reasons, along with being like, "You're an idiot," and just like pat some cure wounds on him. Just
Okay.
first level. I'm not gonna waste. I'm not gonna waste good magic on this.
Okay.
What is the roll for cure wounds these days?
Do you need me to look it up?
Oh, 1d8 plus my spellcasting mod.
Okay. And now we see just how well the Cure Wounds works.
7 plus... what is my mod? 10 points of damage.
Okay. Noted. Thank you very much.
Cool. Anything else?
Just keeping that preparedness, especially since I do have Warcaster. I'm just like really just waiting for shit to go down.
For sure. Eradzian's turn. She does not attack. She at this point she's about like half out of the rubble, with one foot still like firmly planted inside of it. And the next turn is the crown and Endr.
me.
Freaking Victus turns to you and he says, "Now's the time."
Oh, it's my turn. Okay, yay. Okay. Oh Lord.
So you open up the scroll, and there are legible notes to make it easier for you to cast, like things to concentrate on, like pronunciations for certain words, stuff like that.
Wait, would I use just my spellcasting modifier, or would I do Arcana? That's just full of magic I'm using.
It's your spellcasting modifier.
Okay.
Yeah. And with those like extra notes and things, I'm gonna give you advantage on this roll.
Thank God.
Okay. I do have to tell you it's a hard roll, so.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Like, I'm not a praying person. I'm praying on my. So whatever my roll is, +4, and I have to roll twice, and I take the higher. Okay. So that is an unnatural 20.
Okay.
It's 16 +4, which was my spellcast.
Cool.
And then 22.
Okay.
Was my
Yeah, you stumble over a couple of words, but nothing that like causes
That's
the
life or death.
Yes. The scroll in front of you glows. What kind of an effect does your spell take?
Oh.
Like what kind of what does it take the appearance of?
If that makes sense, a flowing river because of the river that flows through Belwyn.
Yeah, absolutely. You smell like the air is filled with the smell of the ocean, right? And just faintly for a second, just Endr, you think that you can hear like the bell of like a distant ship, as this river sort of materializes, and the end that it's coming from just sort of fades away into nothingness as it flows towards the dragon. It trickles between the rocks, and there's a definite moment where the river like shakes as it snaps onto that last leg. And as it starts to pull, Iradzian gives out a loud bellow.
Don't be angry.
And now she's sort of being pulled across this cavern on her side by all four legs towards the center point where the spells come from. Kyr'nes.
Before I, say anything, I see that she's being dragged, and I use my breath weapon to like ice the floor and make it easier for her to move, or at least I attempt to.
Okay, yeah, I love it. Absolutely.
And then I turn to my mother and I say, "It looks like it's progressing as intended. I think it won't be long. You're gonna have to trust me on this."
Okay. Make a persuasion check.
2d20 plus 5. Hylia, that's a 10.
No.
No.
She... Did you do +5 and with your...
With advantage and plus 5, I
advantage?
rolled a 5.
You got a 5?
I got a 5.
Goodness.
I'm glad I had advantage because I rolled a 1.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
The one time I don't build my dice.
Oh my god, her cold breath does how much? Oh my god. Okay.
Oh no.
Well,
That's not a good
survive it.
sentence.
It's okay.
I mean,
I got a plan.
I mean, and like, at least I have resistance to cold, so I take half damage.
You don't have that much resistance.
I know, but maybe.
Okay.
Just because of how I've grown up, just seeing the anger that I'm pretty sure she's showing, I'm just gonna be like, Kyr'nes, and I'm gonna grab him and throw the water wall, like, basically between us and the epic, very angry dragon, and basically have the shape of that nice, big, gullible Ulf that is my brother,
Okay.
just like holding a shield of water.
Okay, yeah, and it's good timing that you do this because she says, "I was a fool to trust you," and she inhales and looking directly in your guys' direction, unleashes her cold breath. How does that interact with Wall of Water?
So ice, like magic and stuff, will hit the wall, and for every 5 points of damage done to it, the wall becomes ice.
That's gonna shatter.
Yeah, that's an interesting interaction, because like it does 5 points of damage and then it's blocked off, but then obviously it does more damage to break said ice as it continues.
Is that how that works, or is it like for every 5 points, like more of it gets frozen?
Let me read this.
Oh my god!
I just don't know. I don't cast Wall of Water. I'm a sorcerer.
I'm a sorcerer.
You'll create a wall of water at the point that you can say 30 feet long, 10 feet high, 1 foot thick. You can make a ringed wall, 20 feet in diameter, 20 feet thick, 1 foot thick, blah, blah, blah. The wall vanishes when the spell ends. The wall surface is difficult terrain. Any ranged weapon attack that enters the wall's space has a disadvantage on the roll, and fire damage is halved on the fire effect that passes through. Spells that deal cold damage that pass through the wall cause the area of the wall they pass through to freeze solid. At least a 5-foot square section is frozen. Each blah, 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 and then it has AC 5 and 15 hit points after that point. So a bit of it's going to hit us, and then some of it hopefully might be blocked up.
Let me Frost Dragon Breath and Wall of Water to see what people say about this. Just because I'm not sure if it's supposed to pass through or.
Because like if we think about it from a physics standpoint, it would like some of it would get through in the process of freezing the water, and then there would be that 15 points of HP there.
Yeah.
But how this translates into the game's mechanics is another question. We're having a lot of dragon-related questions in this campaign.
So many questions. Okay, 15 points of health. You said it has.
Yes, once it's frozen.
Okay,
Well,
so I'm gonna say
the dragon part of the Dungeons and Dragons.
we are. Okay. Tell me if this sounds reasonable. The Wall of Water absorbs like 15 points of the damage that you guys would take as it passes through it.
Yeah, sure.
Sounds good to me.
Whatever we can get.
Okay, cool. So, and that's like total. So like each of you is guaranteed like a 15-point damage reduction on this attack. Now, I need you both to make dexterity saving throws.
Dexterity saving throws? No. I'm bad at those.
Not much better.
Oh, wait, hold on. Am I right about
Mr.
that?
-1 dex. I was really hoping it'd be a con save, because that's the one I'm
me,
good
it is a
at.
con save.
Oh, it is the con save. I have
I
a
was
very
hoping
good
attack,
con mod.
Which is not a thing.
1d20
I'm much
plus
better at those
3,
too. Hold on.
not -1. Haha. Oh. Highly a 5.
5.
So good news. I'm
Why don't
also
you use your dice?
I am using my dice.
and as my bonus action, I'm gonna cast absorb elements because I got a 5.
It's not your turn.
Oh,
Absorb elements is 1 reaction.
oh it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So after the 15-point damage reduction, you have 57 points of cold damage coming at you.
Oh!
So that's 25... 26.
What's
26.
a quarter? What's a quarter of that?
So half of 26 would be 13.
Sick.
Kyr'nes, so you take 26 points.
Mhm.
Which I don't think is enough to kill you.
Not yet.
Okay. But you're down,
25
right?
minus 26. I have 9 HP.
Because I did heal. Because I healed them for 10.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And we had a
look at
rest,
that.
so I started at 38. So I have 9 HP.
Okay.
Am I having to hold concentration on like the spell that I'm doing right now, or can I like chuck with like a
No,
healing?
yeah, it's concentration.
Oh,
yeah.
It's alright.
like
We're not dead yet.
I'm like, I have these big healing potions because I was able to upcast a few. Let me use them. Kyr'nes.
Okay then. So
But there's a really cool statue standing there now.
Okay. Next up is.
I think that's the end of my turn, so I roll for blink as well, because the whole Erazion spiel was happening during my turn.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Well, you tried to convince her.
Yes,
Right.
but
I'm
blink
going a
still
little
goes
out of
off.
Here, my apologies.
Yeah.
But yeah, no blink.
We shall see. I rolled a 15. I do in fact blink. I am in the
Okay.
ethereal plane, and I can then
Okay, so
move 30
you
feet.
freak out after taking all that damage and you blinked out of the
I am in the ethereal plane. Everything looks like it's in shades of gray, and apparently sound is slightly muffled because we're in the ethereal plane.
Yeah, and actually you can see from the center of where these spells are being cast, you can see like a tunnel, right? That kind of opens up and shoots off into the distance. So, but only you are privy to that on the ethereal plane.
Meanwhile, as soon as he's on the ethereal plane, he like, very much like, oh jeez, that could have killed me very much.
Very much bad.
Very much bad. Almost dead.
Zogle.
Oh, good. I love being by myself all of a sudden. I'm gonna be like, well, I'm a since there's a giant statue there, I'll just stop concentrating on a wall of water and concentrate on a different wall of water. And I'm gonna transform myself into something with lots of hit points because this is gonna hurt.
Okay. What are you transforming into?
I'm still on 2s. Guys, did you know that there's a giant crayfish and that it's a challenge rating 2? And I don't understand. I
mean,
want to
I
look at that one day.
Guess that could be handy. It's like giant enemy crab, but smaller. Attack the weak point for less damage?
What's can you tell me the hit points on Quetzalcoatlus?
Quetzalcoatl was probably what you're looking for. Thanks.
It's an Quetzal.
Yeah, it's a Quetzalcoatl.
Atlus.
I love Quetzalcoatls.
Okay, let's see here. It's a big old fly snake, right? Oh no, it's not. What? Wait,
That's a big old dinosaur.
It's a big old dinosaur. Okay. That have.
It's in the
Where are your hit
bolos.
points, buddy? 30.
So a rhino is looking real nice these days. Let's turn into a rhino.
Okay. So you're gonna do a rhino.
Yeah, we'll go rhino.
Okay. Cool. Perfect. Yeah. So you become rhino. Do you do anything else?
Nope, just prepare to protect the rest of my friends because, I'll just take all the damages today.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So on the crown's turn, you all are still focusing on these spells. The dragon is getting drug across the room pretty fast. She's about halfway there, and that's pretty much it. she's obviously like super angry still. Kyr'nes, you pop back into existence.
I can choose within 10 feet, so I try to go 10 feet closer to Endr because I know I'm in a lot of pain.
Okay. What do you do?
And then I look at my mother and I say, in the most earnest way possible, I really wish you wouldn't try to kill me. We're trying to help you. And then I turn to Endr and I'm like, I know you're very busy, but can you please give me a potion to use?
Can you reach in my bag?
I do that. I reach in the bag and I grab him.
You were more than 10 feet away from.
Oh, I am?
Like,
Can I
this is a
use my
big-ass room.
Can I use my movement action to get to her?
If you dash, you can get to her.
Isn't feeding yourself a potion a bonus action?
It is a bonus action.
So I could, in fact, give myself a potion. I don't have anything to do with my main action anyway. So I do that.
Except dash.
Yes. So I dash over there, and I
Further away is good.
and I rummage through her bag.
Is there any, like, can I, I'm gonna, like, motion my head, like, normal ones, this side. Big, strong ones, this side.
Yeah.
I grab the big, strong one.
Okay.
So that is, 3d4.
3d4 plus anything, or is it just 3d4?
3d4 plus 2. Don't
Okay.
I do it? Or just
I think because I'm using
he
the
doesn't.
potion.
Okay, yeah.
3d4 plus 2. Okay.
It doesn't really matter.
That's an 8. That's better than the state I'm in now.
There you go.
And then
3d4 plus 2 got you an 8?
yes, 1, 2, and 3.
Those are average rolls.
Fair.
That's like if
So
you
now
roll
I'm at 17.
Plus 2, though. Jeez.
Okay, and then I roll 1d20 for blink, yes?
Yep.
There you go, Razz. I was about to be like, no, do not sit like that.
What, like this? This is my kneecap.
That was not how you were sitting before, dear.
That's a 5. The blink does not go off.
Okay.
Your
Correct.
dice are not doing you
My dice are
any
not doing me any
today.
favors. They were working alternately during the charisma-based things. Wait, since I
Alright.
like shouted at my mother, is that another charisma? Question mark?
It is. It is.
Okay, let's roll for that. Let's see what we get.
You do not have the bonuses since I do not have.
Yes.
I don't have that concentration.
So I have my normal charisma mod, which is 2.
And you
2d20
still
plus
have
2.
advantage because she's a dragon.
2d20 plus 2 is... That's an unnatural 20. Which is better than my dice just gave me.
That's the.
Yeah, 18 plus
that
2.
was your max.
20 is not enough. That's a...
20 was not enough on this occasion.
No.
He is a bit pissed.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, it's been.
She's
it's been
very
basically-
angry.
Every
She
check
is
you've had has been
angry.
going up by 5.
Oh,
so-
no.
Oh.
I barely made some of those earlier then.
Yes, you did. Yeah. So she's pissed. Zogle.
Put it lightly.
So, have you ever heard a rhinoceros like sigh? Because you're about to.
Okay.
Just like with my concentration on this new water wall, I'm gonna see if I can like just add more depth. Like just add another statue in front of the one that we already have. That way she blows through that one too. That way we
Okay.
have double the walls.
Okay. Yeah. So. Well, this is going to be super fun for me. So
Oh.
Feroce, her like back half is being pulled.
Not ferocious.
Eradzian, ferocious who we're going to see. I got your point, though.
Eradzian is being pulled towards like the center of these spells, and they sort of all converge together. to create like a hole with like a golden ring around it. And in her fear, she actually loses her ability to speak. Even like she's so angry and scared. And Zogle, you're like still where she was attacking. So, in a in an amazing feat. Wait, no, let me roll for it. Let me make sure. I don't want to just give her something she didn't earn. Oh yeah, no, she earned it. That's 26.
Am I considered in cover since there is a ginormous statue in between?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So she, with her 26 strength, like doesn't like break the spells that are holding her front legs, but like kind of creates some give for herself. And she is going to attempt to make a multi-attack on your position.
Oh boy.
That's not a good thing.
Please don't step on Zogle. Please don't step on Zogle.
Please don't kill
I
him.
think that's the plan.
So how does Waterwall work? She has to.
So ranged attack. I mean, regular attacks. I think just straight go through. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
It is considered difficult terrain to go through it, and any damage that deals cold damage that passes through the wall cause that area of the wall to freeze solid.
Okay. Perfect. So, and the original statue has like 15 health, right?
It has AC of 15, but I think it. Wait, hold on. Let me double
figure it out.
That is AC 5, 15 hit points.
Okay. So she is going to so a multi-attack for an ancient white dragon, which she is. Is it's two claw attacks and 1 bite. So she takes her. You said that it has an AC of 5?
Yep.
She takes one hand and just crushes the statue out of her way. And swings the other at you.
More okay with that because at least one of those, is less.
Does a 25 hit?
What? No, never. Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay. You take 15 points of damage as she like rakes across you, and then she what?
Is any of that cold?
Not from her claws.
Okie dokie.
Do I get to draw Zogle with dragon scars now?
I mean, I'm a rhino right now, so hopefully not.
And then she takes. She's gonna take a bite attack at you.
You gonna give me a nibble? All right.
Oh boy.
You have a Zogle taste.
Let's see.
Like Rhino.
Does a 32 hit?
Hylia.
No, not at all.
No, because the 25 definitely didn't hit.
So you take 19 points of piercing damage and 9 points of cold damage.
Okay, so that's actually not that bad. So how much was the piercing?
Piercing was 19.
Okay, that's fine. And then you said how much cold, which is going to be halved? 9. So half of that would be
4.5, so 4.
Oh, I'm good. I'm golden. Whew,
You didn't die.
I did not even bust out of shape. Thank the Lord.
Perfect.
Thank the Lord.
There may be a god.
Or a goddess.
Endr coughs.
You survive that hit, and she just she's got like this blood craze look in her eyes as the council puts a little extra oomph into it and drags her across the room, clawing and screaming.
Endr's quietly apologizing under her breath.
Yeah, like through this hole, and there's this horrible like dragon like pain and anger sound, and then as soon as her head is through the hole, it shrinks to nothing, and there's just suddenly no sound in the room.
I'm gonna do that animal thing where I just kind of topple over, just like.
Yeah.
Kyr'nes still stunned. Indra is saying this in Draconic, but did it work? Is she okay? What's happening? Hello?
And sort of your response that you get to that is, like Victus looks fine, and his mirror image is like, whatever. Asephia
like...
has. Oh yeah, no, Endr, you're like super drained after that shit. Like that was crazy. Asephia has like just the slightest like trickle of sweat like coming from her brow, and she's like trying really hard to keep her composure. And Borellian like lays down on the ground.
I follow suit with Borellian. I lay down. Endr's wiped.
I just pop out of form and look at Endr and be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Did you not just see what I just did?
Did you not just see what I just did?
We didn't die!
Shut up, Kyr'nes! You blinked out of existence, you ass!
Only once!
Nice. And Victor says, "That went smoother than expected. Well done."
Expected? What did you expect?
Did you expect us to die?
In fairness, I expected that to go about that poorly.
I knew that the three of us would be fine.
Oh, thanks for the vote of confidence.
And I'm sure you didn't care too much about whether I died.
Currently, I don't care too much if you have died either.
Damn.
I'm trying to shade here, Zogle. Let me have
You're
this.
bad at it.
So I think Borellian says, "You took that hit like a champ. God damn. God's damn." And he sits up and he says, I'll get to work on moving the Dragonborn. And he kind of like stands up and dusts himself off. And what is your name? God, I don't have to be on that page anymore. I can just look at it. And Asephia joins him, and he kind of like she kind of puts her arm through his a little bit, which is a little awkward. She kind of like grabs onto here because he's so short. And they.
I like this.
I think.
Yeah.
I think as soon as Kyr'nes sees this happening, like everybody's kind of like freaking up. Like, okay, the situation is past. He is running into the village, and he is like incredibly excited to give everyone the good news.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Is anyone else going to follow him, or?
Yeah.
Look at Borellian first. Do you have a strong drink?
He he tosses you a flask. He does.
I was gonna say, if there's any one person.
I'll follow suit, but I'm chugging.
Yep. Endr.
Yeah, I follow.
Okay.
Very tightly, I follow.
As soon as I can, I burst into like the meeting hall that we found ourselves in. I assume everybody's like gathered there because they know what's going on.
They actually didn't know what was going
Hmm.
on. And before you ever get a chance to get to the meeting hall, you're met in the tunnel between the village and Erazian's chamber, by like the same scene from earlier with like torches and like what the hell's going on.
I just shout at like the top of my lungs, absolutely ecstatic in just like it's almost like bordering on a draconic roar. Mother is free.
And you're met with a mixed reaction. Like a lot of the children are really excited, and some of the younger people, some of the older people look shocked and a little scared. Like, what the hell do you mean? But yeah, that's kind of the reception that you can get.
And
I
Kyr'nes
think-
is just so pleased with how this went, he doesn't even care that like half the reception is not what he's expecting. He's just absolutely like bubbling with excitement. He's like jumping in place.
Yeah. And you're met soon enough by the rest of the group. They come up and you're being like hit with questions like like what are they doing here? What do you mean she's free? Where'd she go? Are we safe? Like all kinds of stuff. Invictus says I think he's gonna pull. He probably pulls Zogle and Endr aside.
Victus does?
Yeah. And he says, we've very little time to celebrate. You understand?
I'm out of high level spell slots.
I apologize, but we really do need to send you to your next destination. We helped you. I think that moving an ancient white dragon is a very charitable thing to do. And now we need you to do something that will benefit both of us.
Now, hold on. Moving a white dragon benefited both of us, but I do see your point. Why don't you explain before you decide to try to ramshack us into doing whatever you want?
While they're having this
Try to
conversation,
clone
Kyr'nes is like fielding questions as though it's a press conference.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're into it. Yeah. You got like your pulpit and like he says Malkadron has one last general who is separate from his army. We don't know where the army is, but we know where the general is. It's a beholder in the mountains to the east of Duver.
Beholder.
We need you to go there and do what you can to disrupt his operations.
All right, give us meeting time and at least time for a long sleep.
Rest.
I'm down to one shape and I have no more powerful magic. So at the very least, we're going to need 8 hours.
Very well.
We do need to rest.
And maybe some preparation from a very powerful sorcerer who I'm sure has some trinkets and or weapons that could help in this situation.
We'll discuss it.
Excellent. Let him enjoy his time. He's amongst his people and he's done something very grandeur. He deserves a little bit of time to celebrate.
Yes, of course. just so we're clear, we all feel the same way about this beholder, correct? You will go and take care of it.
Beholders are beasts that are not of this world and not natural. I will never allow them to live if I have the opportunity to slay one. So yes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And
Endr's like, oh, wait, hold on.
It's like,
hold on,
wait a minute, let's talk about this. It's a beholder.
I was just like,
and Victus says, he kind of shouts, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Kyr'nes has some very important business to attend to. You will not be seeing him for a while, but we will take care of the rest." And one of his side dudes casts a spell. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw to avoid being teleported.
Wisdom.
Oh!
Oh no! I don't have bonuses for wisdom.
okay, I got a +2. Let's see how this goes. Whoa!
Ooh.
Or let's fall on the ground.
Mechanics question: how does this interact with Blink?
With Blink's already over. Like it's
fair.
been more than a minute. Blink only lasts
Wait,
a minute.
even being near Victus? Oh shit. I mean, either way, I'm screwed. I got a 9,
A
A
9,
12.
okay.
and I have a +6 in wisdom saving throw.
Okay, so
Well,
15.
I have a +5 in saving throws for wisdom. I got a.
Oh no, I rolled a 3. I have a 9.
Oh, you have a 9. Okay.
Yeah, a 24. No,
24?
23. 23. I got an 18, not 19. The lighting on it. But yeah,
Okay.
23.
Okay. Kyr'nes, what did you get?
I got a 15.
15. Okay. Endr,
Oh lord.
you watch as sort of like beams of light shine down on on the other two, and they blink out of existence.
I'm furious. I'm like I go up to Vic, like I start to be like, where did you send them?
Is he Newman
saw
out
them.
too?
No, Victus is still there. No, the Azure is gone. Blue is gone.
So Endr's just
As your
there.
T poses away.
He turns to you, Endr, and he seems like legitimately surprised that you're still there. He says, "Oh,
Endr's very much like,
You thought?
I need you to
I am-
understand."
I'm not a thought.
You thought?
He says, "I need you to understand that that if you can't take that fight and keep going, that you're not going to be much use to me. So I need you all to get moving now. Your friends are a long ways from here. I will happily send you to them if you'd like. But I could not wait for you to rest."
What a dick. Oh, she froze in time. Oh, no,
Oh.
she's not. Okay.
I'm just being very still. Well, if you don't need me here, get me the fuck out. Like, Endr swears. Like, she is furious. She's like, where the hell did you send my friends? She is furious. She already was kind of like, about this guy to begin with, and she's kind of like, and she's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
you don't need me here, and I wasn't intended to stay. Make me leave.
Very well. And he one of his clones raises their hands. You feel the same as before. You can make another roll against it, or you can like allow it to happen. It's your choice.
I'm allowing it to happen. I don't want That's all.
Okay. Zogle and Kyr'nes.
Mm.
There's a shout, and suddenly you are standing in the middle of some woods. Spanning out
Wait.
before you. And Azure's there too.
Do I recognize these woods from being an Outlander? Or is that not the area I was in?
You've never been here before.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could have make a roll for me.
Sure.
Make a roll for me. Now that I think about it,
That
like,
would
you
be
might have
like
in your travels.
that'd be like a what? History roll?
Whatever Outlander is. Is it like intelligence or wisdom or?
Well,
I know I get survival from. I get a bonus to survival from Outlander. That's a thing.
Okay, so make like a wisdom roll.
Sure. Plus survival bonus or yes, no?
No.
No, just okay. That's 1d20 flat. That's a 7.
A 7. You know where you are, but you don't necessarily you haven't necessarily been here. Just like from the flora and the fauna that are kind of around, you know that you are not super far from a coast, and there are mountains ahead of you. So it is a reasonable assumption that you are near the mountains east of Dover.
Okay.
Saga's gonna take a deep breath. And be like, what a dick.
Yeah, like a moment passes as you're getting your bearings, and you hear like a loud thud of like a large piece of machinery maybe, and you turn to see Endr sat in the driver's seat of your wagon.
Nice.
Mid sentence, like, send me back. Looks around. She has the wheel like in her hand. She's like, the fuck.
For sure.
Well then, and I'm gonna transform into something that has good sniff, and I'm gonna see if I can find druids around this coastal area or forest, because every forest/coast has to have druids.
Yeah. So make a perception check for me.
With advantage from being an aminal.
Yep.
I should probably blow up my candle now. It's been burning for a few hours.
That's a 24.
A 24. Yeah, so interestingly enough, you do smell people. You don't smell like a traditional kind of like druid-ish smell. And that is because you're actually very near to a town. And so like it's a little too civilized for them to like be in this particular area. There are probably druids in this forest, just like not near you currently.
Crap.
You also smell food.
Oh.
That's a lot closer. And you're able to deduce that it's coming from the cart.
From the cart?
I'm gonna look in there and see what he give us. What?
Yeah,
Did
so
Oriana
there's...
get transported with us?
She did not, actually.
Some bitch!
I hope she's alright!
I took the pot from her.
Got magic druid pot. This is beautiful.
Mark magic druid pot in your inventory.
Do it. It might come in handy.
You never
Well,
know.
how do you think we commune with our gods? Duh.
Give that beholder
Nice.
some red eyes.
Yeah. So inside of the cart, there are actually 4 neatly packed, like sacks of provisions, like food and, like extra supplies and stuff, like spellcasting supplies, components. There's also a large sack, and within the sack, um, you find a sigil, which has the mark of Rodavine on it, which is the Titan and the 2 lines off into the distance. And in addition to the sigil, you find 500 gold.
So
Not
basically,
bad.
he just gave us everything that we wanted. No conversation about it, and no rest.
Pretty
I like
much.
it. I like him. So he's a dick.
Mostly.
And Zogle being still in his shape, like not even thinking about the fact that nobody speaks. I'm assuming wolf, probably dire wolf. Just like,
I thought you were.
God
Oh,
damn it! How dare I get transported? Everything sucks. I can't believe he did this. Then all they hear is probably.
Endr leans back. Zogle, can't hear. We can't understand you. Zogle, Zogle.
Zogle buddy.
Fantastic. There in the sack, there's also a note, which Endr and Zogle, you would recognize the handwriting on it as being from Victus, and and it says basically, hello, I'm sorry that you had to leave so suddenly. I had one of my servants prepare your cart for you while we were dealing with the dragon. There's a town nearby that will be your best lead to finding the general. Good luck. Don't die,
That's the goal.
and glory to Duver, or glory to Rodavine. Just
I look at it. I look at Zogle, even though he's still in slow. God, he's a dick.
Yeah, he is. He's a goddamn son of a.
And they're like tentatively like puts her hand like on like Zogle's head, just like still can't understand you, but I'm assuming you're agreeing with me.
nice.
I guess I'll turn back because we're gonna need to make camp. I'm gonna feel real good about this, and I'm gonna like throw a finger, which is just gonna cause a giant bonfire.
Okay. Cool. It is. Let's see. You guys met with the crown pretty early in the morning, so by this time it's maybe noon. Maybe.
There's no what's that called? What's it called, guys? When you're in different parts of the universe and
time zones.
Time
different?
zone.
Yeah. Is there time difference? Time zone difference?
Duver to Rodavine?
It's
Or
Well, we're not near Duver. We're in the mountains.
it's like 1 in the afternoon.
oh, okay. I don't care. I'm gonna take a nap.
Okay.
Just
Breaking out some food, and I'm gonna munch and nap.
I think I'm gonna like wander around in the wilderness and try and get a better idea of the area we're in.
Sure.
Mhm.
Make a survival check for me.
Sure. Survival is
Endr, what are you up to?
bad.
You might have said already.
hold on.
I don't remember. You're up.
That's a natural 20, so 23. Now you play nice.
I guess my sweet mates that were gone for the weekend are home. They're very loud. I just heard them. I was like,
Yeah.
I think like I don't sleep at all, but I definitely like eat a little bit, and I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm taking out the parchment that my dad gave me, writing down what happened in that major adventure that happened, wrapping it up, like activating my little like jade bird dude, sending them back to Belwyn to inform my dad of what I'm up to because I promised I'd write.
Perfect. Yeah. So when you activate your bird, it grows in size to like the size of a normal bird, and it lets out like a hoot, but it doesn't move until you offer it the scrap of paper. It takes it in its beak, and then takes off. Yeah. It's super cute.
Was he like perched on my arm a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Good.
He's gonna want out treats when he gets back.
Oh, of course.
And during this relaxing time, first off, reading. Second off, I'm going to be like, Gizmo, find us the city. Tell me what's going on over there. Are we like?
I forgot
give me a
what you had
layout.
to go, buddy.
It's true.
Yeah, so Gizmo goes off to do that. Kyr'nes, with your 23, you find lots of food. There's this isn't a super active forest. You don't see a lot of animal tracks. Like a couple of mostly deer, and like solitary predators. Things like maybe a bear or like maybe a mountain lion kind of thing. No like super monstrosities or anything of that nature.
Okay.
You were also able to spot the village. It's not too far from you. It's not a very large village. It's probably smaller. It's definitely smaller than Belwyn.
Belwyn's not very big either, so
Yeah, I know.
it's saying something.
Exactly. Yeah. And is there anything else that you're looking for at all?
I think I was mostly trying to scope out the village as soon as I found out it was nearby.
Cool. Yeah. So you spot it from a distance. Would you approach it or would you not?
I'd definitely approach it, but in an attempt to not be, like, immediately like, oh my gosh, a Dragonborn! I cast Disguise Self and become a human Kyr'nes.
Okay.
Aw, dunk! I didn't get to talk to Tazim about the potion.
Brr, 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 brr.
Oops.
Next time.
If we ever make it back there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's a pretty small village. It seems to be mostly humans and like halflings live there. It's like a farming community, but they don't seem to be like into trading crops. They pretty much just have enough to produce for themselves.
Fair.
There is there is a temple of some sort. It's closed in, so you can't really see like anything in particular about what avatar might reside there or anything of that nature. And the people seem friendly. You know, they're going about their business and that sort of thing. Do you enter town or do you just go to like the outskirts of it?
I think because I cast Disguise Self, I'll enter town.
Okay. Are you trying to be sneaky? Are you trying to sneak in?
I'm trying not to arouse suspicion, so that kind of counts as being sneaky.
Okay.
Well, you just look like a normal dude right now, don't you?
I do look like a normal human dude. Well, a silver-haired normal dude.
By existing there, in this small town, where everyone knows everyone, you are noticed.
Fair.
Kind of like an old bent over man, bent like with scoliosis kind of situation, approaches you. He says, "Hey, sir, I can't help but notice you're not from some sort of traveler.
Ah, you could say that. I am a traveler, actually. That's a good way of putting it. I've just come in from, well, Duver. And I found your fair town, and, well, I'm on a bit of a sojourn, let's say, seeing what I can see.
Okay, make a persuasion roll.
Sure. I get something about that.
Yeah, because you're disguise selfed.
Yeah. What is it? Ooh, +1 to charisma rolls. So, +1. Well, +3 because charisma's +2.
Yeah.
That's a 12?
12? Yeah, he buys it. He's not like that suspicious of you. He's just like curious.
He's just like, oh hey, you're new.
Yeah. And he says, oh well, do you plan to stay the night? We love to have visitors. My family would love to have you and to hear your stories.
Well, I have a few traveling companions. They sent me ahead to make sure there wasn't, we didn't assume anything, of course, but they sent me ahead to make sure everything's well and good here. If that's not too much of an imposition, I wouldn't mind that sort of thing.
Oh, you can't be too careful. Of course. You came from Duver. There's no none of those demonic types traveling with you, are there?
Does he mean tieflings?
I'm assuming he means tieflings. Oh, no.
So much racism.
I know. It's every time we go to. It's like, no. At least not as far as I know. If one of my companions is one, they've been hiding it incredibly well, which is impressive, given the amount of time we've spent together.
Indeed. Well,
why does your disguised self sound like Sean Connery?
I don't know. I just picked her. I feel like
I'm using almost.
I feel like Kyr'nes just every time he uses disguise self, the voice is the only thing that is not fixed, and he picks a random voice out of the pile every time because that's what I'm doing.
Nice. He kind of grabs you by like the elbow and walks you to a more centralized location, and he uses his cane that he now has, and he like points down the street and he says, "We're there. We'll have." Do I play into the meme? We're having stew tonight.
God bless America.
I am Aldroth, Paladin Knight of the Perpetual Stew.
It's true. It's stew.
I mean, at this point, every time we're trying to be friendly, there's been stew.
It's
There's
true.
Every single time.
Always stew.
It really is. It's always stew, and we always bring up Chlorella.
Yeah. He says,
"This is why dragons tried to vaporize Zogle." Thanks, Kyr'nes.
And he says, "Bring your friends. If you do have any traveling animals or anything of that nature, we can find accommodations, and we'll be awaiting you. Dinner is served early so that we can go to services at the temple."
I see. I will have to keep that in mind. I'll go fetch my companions right about now.
Perfect. He lets you go.
And off I go. Knowing that like there's going to be that temple service, I don't go and snoop there quite yet. I return to the party, hopefully escaping the city before my disguised self wears off.
Oh yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been an hour. Would Kyr'nes return in his
disguise?
If you went straight from the city back to where you guys are, then yeah, you would have made it.
All right, yeah.
Within that amount of time. On your way back, you hear like a whirring noise, like zzz, and and like a small, like maybe an insect, like shoots at you, like directly at you from out of the trees, and almost like takes an eye out as it like swings past your head.
Be careful, infernal machine.
And Gizmo just kind of like hovers there and it's like.
Aw, you can't be mad at the boy.
He's doing his best.
He tried real hard.
So yeah, you make it back to camp. Yeah.
I approached the camp looking. I approached the camp looking like a Who-Man boy. I'm like, hey guys, did I miss anything?
Oh no, he came back.
Endr.
Oh no, he lost speech.
No, I can still insult you in common.
Oh crap, he's still trying to throw shade.
He's not very good at
Endr
it.
looks at Kyr'nes and is like, welcome back. Like, and is like, he's like, welcome back. Like, she does not even questioning the disguise self after how much she saw it in Roadbean. She's like, hey, just...
Well, I've got good news. I found us a place to stay. I think.
The trees, the coast, the mountains, literally anywhere except for the city.
About that, Zogle.
I hate you. I hate you.
I know.
I hate you. I hate you.
I know,
hate
buddy.
you.
It's okay. There was this just kind of...
You know, I hope that red dragon takes your head off. Just one day, I don't know what happens.
The staff
really,
is
really
vibrating
bored.
gently in the bag. Like,
Yes.
yes, I like this one. There was just this kind old man, and I couldn't say no, so he's offered to take us in.
Couldn't say no.
You know,
couldn't say no.
anglerfish, they really, really look pretty. And then you go up to them, and then you...
Well, I'm not dead yet. And there's a temple in this town that may provide us some answers.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome that you're not dead.
And they're kind of like peeked up at like the sound of like a temple, even though she like there's like absolutely no way to like it's Panacea. She's just
Still,
like,
she's like,
temple.
hmm.
Oh, religion.
Religion, I do that now.
That's a thing I do now.
Oh no, religion.
Beautiful.
Gizmo, did you find anything that, you know, he didn't?
Sorry, you cut out. What?
Oh, I thought Gizmo came back with him as well. So I'm just like looking at it, being like, did you find anything that he didn't? Is this all hogwash and we're all gonna die?
Gizmo's like, can he communicate with you? Like, how does this work?
That's a good effing question. I wonder if it can like type. You'd have to pull up the clockwork things because I don't remember how they work.
Well, he draws you a picture in the dirt.
I was about to say, does someone hand him some parchment and he just scribbits it out, or?
Yeah,
he takes one of his little.
He draws a map of the town, and Kyr'nes, there's no surprises on it for you except you where the temple is. It draws a like a rectangle on the roof. And like you had you could have seen it from like up above. There was nothing like that up there, so.
I actually like address the bug. I'm like, what's this? I didn't see that.
And I'm gonna draw you what it draws you. Okay.
Here we go. We get to see kids' artistic skills.
Oh well, I mean, if this is sad.
Not to worry. We'll only all throw shade at you.
I know. I know.
Oh god, why am I singing so loud?
I don't know.
Okay, it draws you this.
Mmm.
The temple.
Does that look like a symbol to a god or something?
I mean, the rectangles are the exact same dimensions as the rectangle that she drew on the temple. Or he, she, it, Gizmo.
They?
Gizmo.
It's a they at this point. I mean, it's a mechanical.
Like, robots use neutral pronouns, right?
You can make a religion check if you want.
Hey, religious lady, make a religion check. I'm gonna spend 10 minutes real quick and see if I can understand Gizmo, because I don't know. It's a mechanical, but it might speak speed.
Yeah, I forgot that now I have a +7 religion.
Oh shit. Okay.
That's them their cleric benefits, yeah.
14 total.
14.
Total.
Oh, okay. So the
I rolled a 7.
nice.
Plus my +7, so.
With the context clues that have been given to you, you are able to deduce that the temple is to a god that you're familiar with. Actually, you've met this god before. It's a temple to Nermina, the goddess of roads.
We've run into her before.
Neato.
Yeah.
So after 10 minutes, I'm gonna look at the bug and I'm gonna speak scarab at it and see if it talks.
You speak scarab?
Well, I mean, I speak animal, so or beast. So.
Okay, what's this thing called? I've never found this book, by the way. Like you've told me
never
where
found
it's
the
at.
clockwork?
No. Clockwork beetle.
It's like, I don't remember if it's clockwork scarab or what's it called, but it is a clockwork creature. I just don't remember which book it's in. And maybe under like.
Clockwork
Maybe it's under the
clockwork
artificer stuff.
Understands common. Telepathy of 100 feet.
Oh.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. It says I guess I could have just told you this, like this.
You mother trucker, you can talk!
Well, yeah, yes, I can talk.
No!
You can't escape!
Not more of you chit-chatterers. Okay, great. What is this?
Sorry, what are you asking it?
Just like, what is this whole thing? Like, do you know, was this a symbol that was on the building? Like, what is this all?
No.
And also, how are you?
This unit is running optimally.
In the distance, you hear a strange tune begin to play.
You see a small boy.
He runs across
Azure,
the
put it
beach.
It says this unit is running optimally. I was Razz.
Yeah, she's deliberately muted. It's
okay.
her boyfriend.
Okay. He says, I was merely attempting to communicate through symbols that this is a temple to Nermina.
Hey, Giz, let's just drop the trying to communicate via symbols. Let's just go for communication from here on out.
Apologies. This unit was led to believe you were not intelligent enough to communicate via this method. I have been corrected.
The robot putting him on blast.
Kyr'nes,
I love it.
Kyr'nes, can I see your staff? I'm a beat one mother trucker with another mother trucker.
I mean, if you give it back, pull it out of the bag. Does it have anything to say?
It gasps and it says, "When was the last time that you washed those robes?"
I mean, I've been out in the wild for a while.
Yes, I'm aware. At least 2 months, according to the timeline for this game. What do you want?
Well, you're going to see someone you enjoy a little bit more for a moment, and I pass Zogle the staff.
Wait, no, don't pass it.
Grab the staff.
And,
Just like, not actually trying to hit Gizmo, but I'm like swinging it at Gizmo. Like,
he gives like little distressed buzzes. He's like, zzz. And he says, "My apologies, Master Zogle. My creators led me to believe this. It was not my own opinion. I do not wish to insult you."
Good.
So okay, I missed what.
The robot.
He said that he didn't think that Zogle was intelligent enough to communicate with him telepathically.
so now I'm trying to beat him / not actually hit him because I'm pretty sure I don't know how to fix it. So I'm trying to beat a mother trucker with another mother trucker, which I'm sure the staff is just yelling at me in Draconic.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
the most angry Draconic.
Angry.
Beautiful.
It's like, okay, can I have it back now?
He never says anything nice to you. You never ever say anything except for complaints come from the staff.
You never know, he might turn around.
You don't turn around. You talk all the time.
Yes, but I say nice things. Maybe you'll start saying nice things eventually.
Will you turn around and maybe protect yourself and say mean things sometimes?
We'll see where the adventure takes us, friend Zogle.
Oh my god, no, ew. I'm gonna throw it at him. I'm not gonna, like, be nice about it. I'm gonna try to hit him. In fact, I'm gonna roll an attack.
Oh no.
Okay.
This may kill the man.
And I also have proficiency in quarterstaff, but not throwing them proficiency, so...
I mean,
I don't know
if you have proficiency with quarterstaffs, you have proficiency throwing them. Like,
Perfect! And this is a +1 staff of hitting people, isn't it?
It's a +1
it
staff of
is
striking.
actually +1 staff. Yep.
So I think that's what, +6 to hit in general, or
Something like
what's a yeah,
It's
great.
Your proficiency plus your strength +1.
Oh, I think you actually might have gotten lucky because I think that's the only minus I. Yeah, that's the only minus I have, but it's fine. The proficiency takes care of it. So it's a +3 instead.
Uh-huh.
Does a 21 hit?
A 21 very much hits.
Great. Is it like 1d6 plus strength, or is it infinite?
I think so. That sounds right.
Well, since you can't hit something for 0, I hit you for 1.
Ow!
You took a 1/9 of his health.
Yup.
Or something.
It's pretty close to that. Actually, it's actually 17, so because of that potion. But it's 16 now!
Nice.
We scramble to pick the staff up off the ground, like... "Urgh."
Yeah, it's like furiously swearing at you. How dare you give me to him? And now look what he's done to you. Kill him! Kill him!
Maybe later, I don't know, I'm thinking about it.
Maybe later.
I'm gonna be like, and in case you decide you're gonna try to hit me back or something, just keep in mind, I am a very, very angry dog if I want to be.
Would I know that he doesn't have any shapes? Would I know that?
I mean, you
like,
make an intelligence roll.
Because, like, mechanically, I know he doesn't have any shapes, but does Kyr'nes know?
I mean, I would say that, like, you've definitely had ample opportunity to know that. Like, you've seen him do it twice before he has to rest. A lot.
That's a 15?
Yeah.
Okay, then knowing that, I'm like, are you sure? Right now? Are you sure right now? Okay, have a wonderful nap.
Here it is now. Oh, actually, you had a short rest because you napped.
Ooh.
So, yeah,
I didn't know he took.
shapes.
I didn't know he took a short rest though. So I'm showing my hand.
Now, yeah, right now I'm like, okay, yeah, right now I'm gonna turn into a horse and I'm gonna punch him in the face with my back hooves.
Oh, just like you did
This-
to Azure.
Let's hope this doesn't kill me.
Well,
Take your
here's to
deck.
hoping for something. You know what?
And Endr steps in. Girls, you're both pretty. We need to cool it down, though.
Oh, cool is my middle name.
Ooh, this is a +6 to hit. This.
Zip it.
Have I ever been known to zip it?
She grabs her stuff. I'm like, I can bap you just as good.
Does an 11
Turns to
hit?
Zogle, I can
11
bap-
does not hit. For once in his life, Kyr'nes is dexterous and just out the way.
Fine, I'll just stand there as an elegant ass elk and just be like, bitch.
Okay. I was just being overdramatic. It's enough.
What's up, Endr?
Endr turns to Zogle too, and is just as like turns. And it's like, I can bap you too. Y'all need to chill. And Kyr'nes, I know.
You know many things.
I guess we should probably still take that nap though, because we're out of health and out of spell.
Well, that old dude is expecting us soon.
Which is the wrong noise for an elk to make, by the way. So we should all be aware.
Yeah, elk noises are like. That's the sound elk make.
Yeah,
Fair.
it's kind of terrifying, and also loud, and also whiny. Oh, great! It is a Zogle character.
Okay, so are
Whatever.
you guys going to town or?
Yeah, so
I'm
I'm gonna
going.
try into town, and I won't transform. Well, you know what? I won't transform back until we're like right in the middle of town. Just cause, screw it. Let's be dramatic.
Okay.
Minimum subtlety.
Definitely not gonna think you're some sort of demon.
Damn. As you're like approaching town, Zogle, an arrow whizzes past your head. And Kyr'nes and Endr, you turn to see like a man and like a preteen-ish boy. Both humans. Boy. You've seen Kratos' dad jokes? It's the best thing ever.
Yes. I love Kratos' dad jokes.
But the man has a bow and like the son is like carrying supplies.
Could you not hit our friend, please?
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize this was your elk. I hunt for a living, and I just thought,
Honestly, if we were bringing an entire elk into the city, would you really think it was good to shoot, even if it wasn't our friend?
well, I mean, I didn't really see you. You know, you're.
We're in a cart.
I forgot. I forgot about the cart. I'm a little nearsighted.
Oh, and that makes you such a good hunter.
Well, no.
The sarcasm.
As you can see, I've missed.
Yes, thankfully.
I just think that, you know, if you're going to be out in the woods, you should wear some brightly lit garment, and perhaps a red or a yellow or some combination of the two. You know.
Why do you think I'm wearing bright blue, good sir?
My pants are purple.
I'm so terribly sorry. Please forgive me.
I'll allow it since you missed.
Since you missed. If you didn't miss, I would fucking kill you with a fireball.
All of this shit. I'm gonna turn into like a regular ass giant person and be like, really? That's why you forgive him?
Oh! And they both like draw back in shock.
Oh, eek, a big scary half Goliath that was just an elk. Ah, run away, eek, get the pitchforks. I'm having a bad day.
Kyr'nes is laughing at Zogle doing this.
They go.
Actually,
how
long has it been?
Turn around.
How long has it been
Since
Disguise Self?
You're probably like at or close to your limit.
Okay, so Kyr'nes is laughing so hard he loses Disguise Self, and he doesn't have the wherewithal to put it back. So as they run away, there is now a lizard man in the middle of town.
And they do run away. No, you're not in the middle of town yet. Like this is like on the outskirts.
Fair.
Yeah. But they're gone. They leave.
Zogle just looks at Kyr'nes. Seriously, why can we not take you anywhere? Look how scared you made those people with your, like, lizard face. My good.
And Endr is just losing it. She's, like, keeled over.
Kyr'nes is too busy laughing to actually respond, so he just kind of waves his hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Azure, are you casting Tasha's hideous laughter on everybody? I'm really confused.
Azure says, I am just... I can't do a very good owl impression without it being like super probably
just
racist.
Good old T-pose.
Yeah, he's T-posed. And Blue says, no, I haven't seen him cast any spells.
He's been afflicted by the madness of Gaben.
You know, this happens more often than not. I'm really
Maybe that's what that weird green thing is.
We have some questions. Get the answers to.
And then I'm also like scratching my head. Kyr'nes, how are we supposed to talk to an old man if they know you as one person and
I didn't think about that.
You have your potion.
That's right, I do. I have 4
Yes.
uses left on that potion.
That's a good idea. We're way far away from the place where you can get more. Please feel free to drink your only uses of that potion.
I suppose it's not like I'm out on the dusty trail and I require ever so many spell slots. I can disguise myself.
Also, Kyr'nes, just because this had not occurred to me before, you only get the +1 when you use the spell Disguise Self. You don't get it when you use your potion.
Okay, noted.
Yeah.
I do cast Disguise Self again as we, like, approach this dude's house. So I'm not, like, a big old lizard man, like, hey, sorry!
Hey, sorry, I just showed up.
It's like, hey, I'm a lizard now, hi, what's up?
Demons!
Demon!
Damon!
The goblins!
Do you guys like knock on the door or like?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. You knock, and the front door opens, and there is a probably like a 20-something man there. He has like dirty brown hair, and he's pretty tall. He's a pretty good-looking dude. And he says, hello. Hello. It's hard to do a lot of voices.
It really is.
It's so hard.
Take your time. Take your time.
They're called leggings because you put your leg.
Put your leg in the.
Take your time.
He says. Oh, okay. He says, oh, hello. Top of the morning. Father told me I should be expecting you.
Yes, that's correct. Kyr'nes like very trying really hard, like, what was the voice I used? Like, yes, that's correct. Yeah, young man.
Zogle standing there like, are you okay? Like, the last time I heard a voice like that, we had to put that creature down, man.
I assure you I'm entirely fine. Just like...
Andrew just goes like, "Oh yes, thank you," like very like calm, not even like. He's just like smiling.
Voice of reason at this point.
It's like, what did you guys do?
She's clearly using like a little bit of her rustic hospitality, like, "Oh yeah, hi." Like,
nice. What order do you guys walk into the house in?
I'd say.
To roll initiative for it.
I was gonna say I walk in first, so as to not confuse the denizens of the house.
Okay.
I'll probably go in last, making sure that if everyone dies inside, they go.
Okay. Okay. So, Zogle, you would notice this as Endr walks past this tall lad. He like checks her out.
Oh, hello.
Oh, he checks out Endr, but not Kyr'nes.
Well, and as you approach Zogle, he looks at you and he's kind of like taken aback, and he kind of checks you out too.
Everybody's a lizard man.
I'm going to like look at him for a second and be like, by the way, anything you try to do to her, I'm going to do to you twice as hard. And then just walking.
Bopped.
See, the thing is, that could go really different ways.
Yeah, none of you hear this, but under his breath, he says, "Oh, I hope so."
Oh my Peak biculture right there.
Yes.
Oh, I hope so.
The door closes behind you. There's like an older woman inside who's like kind of slaving over a hot stove kind of situation, and there's a trio of women who are even older than this old woman, and they're sat on like a sort of a makeshift bench in the corner, and they're like gabbing away at each other, kind of like like old hens kind of situation.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a
So
little.
because of a little,
Pick a little, talk a little.
so
Yeah.
Thank
a
you.
little PTSD moment. Can I like check to make sure that they're not hacks?
Oh.
Sure. Absolutely.
I don't know what kind of roll to make.
Inside?
You can make insight. I guess that would be a good one.
That's a 13.
Or actually, I guess isn't it usually like intelligence for like shapeshifters and stuff like that, or for like illusionists?
That would make sense.
Well, I think insight's like trying to gear where somebody's at, so I have no idea. Or an investigation check? I don't know. One of those. Because I think investigation might be the DC for regular illusions.
Yeah. Would you say that you rolled?
I rolled a 13 on my insight.
Okay, yeah, I mean, they're probably not hags. They don't seem haggish.
Probably.
I mean,
and actually, one of them, one of them stands up and says to the others, "Oh, well, ladies, I must be getting on my way and leaving down the road too far for us to possibly be a hag coven. I'll see you all later."
I don't know about this guy.
There's only two of them.
Zogle's freaked out.
I'm getting hit on for the first time. There's a bunch of hags here.
Yeah, so they're and as soon as they see you guys, they start they start talking about you, but not to you. Like to each other. They're like, "Oh, there's a big strong lad. Oh, and look at that one in the front. Have you ever seen hair like that? Oh my goodness."
Kyr'nes kind of runs a hand through his hair like, "Yeah, I made it myself."
I'm digging through my bags to see if I can actually find a shirt.
Nice. And oh, look at that short little redhead. Oh my. We should set her up with
Kyr'nes.
Wow, you're doing it to yourself now.
Jeremy. We should set her up with Jeremy.
Jeremy, my buddy, how's it hang?
Was that the dude that was checking her?
Could be.
But no, it's a bunch of old ladies.
The less old lady who's like slaving over hot stuff. It kind of seems to you guys that maybe she's the one to do it because she like didn't have the privilege of being the oldest kind of situation. So like she's the one who's most able-bodied. She turns and she's like ladling out stew, right? Because it's always stew.
Always. It's always got to be stew. It can't be anything else. Never.
Stew is the best.
Eat anything else. No one eats anything else. It's all stew diet.
It's stew.
Hey man, you can fit a bunch of things in your diet with stew.
True.
It's all good.
All broth is too powerful. He's the real end boss.
My lady, do you need help?
Oh, well, if you don't mind carrying these to the table, he kind of indicates the table for you. And as she hands you stew, Zog, this is like rabbit and rabbit stew.
Again.
I'm really, really glad that I have been aquatic animals because I'm just gonna hold my breath. Just like. Put them all over there and be like, I'm good, thank you. I ate on my.
And when you reach the table, the little old man is sat there, and he says, "Oh, hello. You must be friends with my other new friend. My name."
I was gonna say I didn't give him a name.
Of very little consequence.
Of very little consequence. What a strange name.
Yes, it's actually pronounced Overy.
Overy.
They're like Irish, but also like New Orleans. This is a play.
He's a glom.
You can just call me Overy.
I would rather not.
I'm taking that NPC name, by the way, in my campaign tomorrow.
I'm just gonna email Endr now. It's fine.
Just let me practice my cantrips, Dad.
Yeah, don't come in. I'm practicing my cantrip.
It's not a phase. Multiclassing's not a phase.
I just want to practice necromancy, Dad.
It's not a phase.
You want me to raise a family in the future?
You wanted me to raise a family? I'm trying.
Today's D&D show has been brought to you by inability to concentrate. And so the letter
So everyone kind of congregates at this table. The two old ladies, Jeremy has, as you learn his name is, has to actually like pick them up. But like after he like sets the second one down, he sits down. One of them says, walks across the room and grabs them.
Oh,
Back.
I froze for a hot second there.
Oh, they can walk. They can just choose not to.
Fair.
Cool.
And the old man is sat at like the head of the table, and Mother is sat at the other end, and Jeremy is sat kind of next to the two old ladies, and Jeremy says, "Oh, Mom's cooking. It's your mom's cooking. It's very good. You should try it. Come sit." That was close enough to Irish. That's what I was going for. Also, his voice is a little deeper than I do it, but I just do it like a high Irish accent. I don't know.
It's very. Thank you for the offer. I'm completely comfortable. Thank you.
Well, come
Endr.
sit at the table.
Endr immediately just goes and sits down. Like she's not going to be impolite to these people.
Yeah, and these are kind of the people that Endr would be kind of comfortable with. They're about her class. They're about her, social standing.
Got that rustic hospitality going.
Rustic hospitality, yeah.
I look, as Endr probably takes a plate, I look at her as if she is the most revolting person on the face.
Kyr'nes has no qualms about eating this too. He's going for it.
Yeah.
I've already figured you're the most disgusting person.
There's no decorum here. He's just.
So Zogle, do you join them at the table, or?
I'm like sitting there with my book shoved in my face, trying my best not to look up.
Okay.
I think Zogle would actually be more comfortable with Kyr'nes eating me because he's the closest to like an animal as all of us go. But everyone else, I'm like,
yeah.
Endr's just full on engaged, like talking with these people. Like she's like you said, she's in her element. She's like, oh yeah, like she's totally babbling with ladies, like talking to Jeremy and talking to the old dude, like holding like the conversation. Like she's like totally into it.
Definitely.
It's like, oh, normal people, finally. people I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. And as you all find yourself sat at the table, the woman at the end of the table who prepared the meal, she says, now our new friends, if you would join us in a prayer, if you don't mind, before we eat.
Oh, my apologies. I didn't intend to offend you.
Oh no, you haven't offended. Not at all. Just, if you don't mind, it's sort of a tradition.
Endr's all for it. She's like,
Okay.
So they all bow their heads. Do you guys all bow your heads in prayer?
I put my book like on my lap, and instead of bowing my head to pray, I'm just reading.
He's reading in his lap. That's a
Nice.
mood. Lord, oh my god. That's
Okay.
such a mood.
Yeah.
I'll join them, but I'll keep like an eye out. Like,
Sure, yeah. And actually, Kyr'nes, you would probably notice Jeremy like initially like bows his head, but then once everyone else's heads are bowed, he kind of opens his eyes and looks around, and he spots Zogle, like, and kind of like catches onto him and kind of smirks about it.
Kyr'nes is gonna give him like a hi.
he like looks at you and just like.
Internally, Kyr'nes is like, "Oh, dang it! I was gonna be the seductive."
Good try.
He almost wish Zogle like in his head is like, you're too awkward to be seductive.
And the lady leads a prayer, and she says, hold on, let me get into praying lady mode. She says, Lady Nermina, you who guide the traveler safely to their destination and keep the carts safe along the road that is life. Please look after our new traveling friends, as they've come a very long way. Look after our family as we travel. And please bless this meal as it came to us from a fair distance. She knows what she's saying. I'm coming up with this on the spot. She says, and please, Lady Nermina.
Oh, Lady Nermina.
And please, Lady Nermina, protect this town from any evil that may come upon it. And they don't say amen. And she says, may the road wind ever onward. And everyone around the table, except for Jeremy, who kind of mumbles it, but everyone says, may the road wind ever onward.
I didn't know it, so I'm just like...
It's like, yes, I have taken part.
Yes. And actually, that is where we're going to call it for the evening. It's been about 3 hours, so...
Also, can I just, like, mention that, like, any, like, attempt that, like, this dude is gonna have, like, flirting with Endr, she's probably not gonna get it. Like,
it's gonna go right over her head.
Like, she's gonna be like, oh yes, golly, we're just all being nice and pleasant to each other. 0%. Like, unless someone's, like, outwardly gonna, like, express it to her that, like, hey, this dude's, like, wanting to get in your pants. Like, she ain't gonna realize it.
Anytime he tries to do that, Zogle just reading his book. And when swinging an axe, make sure that you hit pivotal
Meanwhile, Kyr'nes like, but they don't want me.
Ooh, those cheers would be great for like making some lemonade cold, like hey, Frosty Boy.
Beautiful. Okay, everybody. That was the week. Portal to Dragon. You met some new friends. Got hit on. Good stuff.
Is completely oblivious.
Yep.
Anyway, it's time for spiels, isn't it?
Time for spiels. Give me a spiel.
I will give you my spiel because it's the longest spiel, so I go first. I'm working on that. Hi, I'm Glacier Nester. I play Kyr'nes, the Dragonborn Sorcerer. who had some really pivotal moments happen very recently and also during this one. I do Twitch and YouTube. Primarily, I do Twitch for YouTube, essentially. I post my Twitch VODs to YouTube as part of my major content flow. I play a variety stream on Wednesdays. It's not necessarily always games. Right now we're programming. And on Friday nights, I do my premiere show called Paper Cuts, where I read a public domain book. It's a great time. We just finished up some suitably spooky... what's the word I'm looking for? Suitably spooky short stories, and we'll see where next week takes us. And then finally, my my other premiere thing is called Frozen Thunder Finds. It's a first impression series where I play the first 30 minutes of a game, and I go, yeah, I like that, or I didn't really like that. And either way, I tell you where you could find it.
Yeah, hello.
So.
You all froze for a moment.
Oh, golly. Well, hopefully the stream got all that spiel, because it takes forever to do.
No. I think it was just
Is on your end? Yeah.
A download.
Anyway, that's my whole spiel. Glacier Nester. It's Glacier _Nester, unless, underscores don't exist on that platform, then it's Glacier Space Nester. Either way, you could probably just Google Glacier Nester and find me.
Cool. Speaking of downloading things, I'm actually currently downloading of our venture off of the drive that G has shared with me to upload to Razz's Planetarium, which is where the VODs of our adventure will be put. If you need to catch up, if you just want to go back and do it later at a different date, that's where they'll be, at Razz's Planetarium on YouTube. I also have a Tumblr where I put my art, where I'm actually going to be putting some sketches a little bit after this, I think, that I've done of 2 of the members of the Crown. Those will be going on razzesartcorner.tumblr.com. Hopefully I'll get to properly signing them soon. I actually have a little paper where I was doing Victus during pre-calculus, but that's besides the point. But yeah, that's where you can find my stuff.
Beautiful. I am Kid Infinite. I stream on Twitch. I just found out about Magic the Gathering Arena, and that's like an old addiction of mine, and that's probably going to be something that gets streamed. I've also been streaming Fallout 4. On Wednesday, we are doing a special edition of my and iBasley's morning show, Good Morning Twitch. It's going to be a special Halloween edition, including a top 5. Each of us brought a top 5 video game costumes, and also just some other general fun stuff. Maybe a special Halloween edition of It's Raining Men and other stuff. So check that out on iBasley's channel. Yeah.
Awesome. So the only other person that we shouted out to make sure to go visit Sleeping Owl. He does art, and he is our bard. He just T-posed today.
He's doing stuff for his portfolio, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He is doing portfolio work. And by the way, you can also, I don't know if he has it on his panels, but the next time he streams, you should go check him out and ask him about his Instagram. Because, girl, those are looking good. Like, he's getting fancy these days. As for me, Matthatter plays, and to all the follows and the dono and the everything else, thank you so much, guys. You're amazing. We do this on Sundays, obviously. I play the Druid. And we're a variety streamer otherwise. So really, we've been playing a lot of Fallout 4 as well, because on Tuesday we get our beta key, and we're going to be playing Fallout 76.
Ooh,
nice. I'm going to be tuning in for that one.
Probably no lifing it for a very long time, because killing random people and making friends is kind of my favorite. So that are what we're going to be doing, yes.
Got to keep an eye out for the final Pam.
Excellent. And otherwise, everyone else is shouted out. So if you need some assistance getting to the channels, they're all up over there. Over there. Sorry, I'm mirrored. And I also put Razz's Planetarium's YouTube link up there. So if you guys want to catch up, get yourselves caught up to what happened, Hunty.
Yes, I need to go back and look at some of those.
Right? Like,
So
I'm
I
sitting
can
there
remember
going,
things.
like, I don't remember half the shit Zogle has said. It's gonna come back to bite him. But otherwise, yeah.
Probably.
So, everything's coming back to bite him, including dragons.
Especially dragons.
Oh, you know, something just occurred to me. Do you guys want experience?
Oh,
right
that's
now?
probably a good idea.
That'd be great.
Let's talk about your experience. You fought an ancient white dragon, but I didn't use a lot of the features and things like that, so I'm not giving you experience for an ancient white dragon. Especially because you did
rats.
if you would have killed it, maybe. But
Don't kill my mom!
Yeah,
I mean, right, but like, I
Your
get
mom
a
could've
bunch of
killed
levels out of
us.
that, right?
Also, your mom could have killed us. So.
Fair! She
Yeah.
kinda almost killed me.
Yeah, you're her son, and she almost like murdered. So.
And somebody blinked out of existence.
I was waiting. I was sitting on Blink like, oh man, I hope I find a reason to use this. Because it's such a fun spell.
I'm interested to see like what you continue to do with Blink and if Kid will do anything with it for when you're in the ethereal plane.
Because you can see a lot of
it's
weird stuff in
possible,
the
like-
ethereal plane.
I mean, if you spend a lot of stuff in the ethereal plane, you might get some attention.
Mm.
It's possible. There are things that live there.
Including stalkers, and I would really rather not deal with those.
Mm.
Oh, not even. I'm thinking like in. There's a really nice one in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Ooh.
That like just chills on the ethereal plane. It's like a. What's it? An ethereal behemoth or something like that.
Oh,
Mm.
so
That doesn't sound terrifying at all!
it's real nice. It just sits and chills there. It's just behemoth.
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 I'm so happy. My candle finally burned down into a perfect circle. It was like sticking like up here for like half of it. It was driving me nuts.
You know what causes that, right?
Surface tension.
No, you didn't burn it long enough for its first
Okay.
burn or second.
Honey, listen. I burned
Hunty?
it for 6 hours and it just
6 whole hours.
and it should have been enough. But
For your
apparently
first burn.
for my first burn.
Squirrel.
But the thing is that like look how much wick I have in terms of like next to like the base of like where the wax is, like that all melted down because like I don't know whether it's like the wind that comes out of my open window, but those like little flames were like super tiny. Like they weren't like proper.
You might want to go to Yankee Candle. They have those things that you put on top of your candles. It defends against wind, and it also makes your candles burn evenly. And they're like on the cheap end, they're like $10.
So I used a multi-attack and a cold breath, and so pretty much you guys essentially dealt with a young white dragon, because anything bigger than that, they start to get like frightful presence and stuff like that, and legendary actions. So I'm gonna say a young white dragon, but you didn't kill it, so I'm gonna give you like half the experience for that, because it 150 experience.
Hey, that puts us pretty close, doesn't it?
I don't think so.
How much
Unless-
by the end of the call cut out?
Unless
150.
1150.
oh no, like unless like we got some experience that I didn't collect on
I don't think so.
somehow. No,
we were like 3,000 off, weren't we?
Yeah, we're at 6. We're at
we
6687.
7,000.
I think.
Yeah, you have to go to 14,000 to get your 6th level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
I
have like 7,000. We have like 7,500 XP left until we level up, I think.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I've been doing milestone experience for so long that I forget like experience.
Yeah.
Forget buy-in.
Yeah.
So
I just try to give like figure out what a milestone, like what kind of a challenge it was, and just try to give experience. Cool. So that's it.
excellent, guys. All right,
Okay.
I'll see you Sunday, friends.
See you Sunday.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Okay, if Discord... Okay, Discord does this every time. It just doesn't let me, like, hang up the call. It's my favorite thing. Bye, everybody.